Hello loves, this is Meg Carolee Pearl with She Through Tea, and I'm here on one of my favorite hikes under a tree, and I'm on day 29 of my cycle, so I am in deep luteal phase and just feeling myself about to drop into menstruation. And I just felt inspired to come on and share more about the cycles of death and grief. As a death doula and cyclical guide, I have such a deep love and passion for creating more compassion and spaces of slowing down to meet all the phases, all the cycles of life that we go through. And one of the more challenging phases of life is the death and grief cycles. And my intent is to talk about these things in a way that can bring more awareness into our everyday life, that we can integrate these conversations of death and dying and menstruation and grief as an everyday topic. I believe that this will create more compassion, more presence, more love and understanding of who we are as human beings. So if you're with me, thank you for being here. Your presence is a gift. And if you're going through the cycle of death, whether it's loss of a loved one or your grieving is coming through with losing somebody in the past, or you lost a home or a tragic situation, whatever it is, all of it matters, and no situation is necessarily bigger than the other in the way that you feel. It's all valid, and when we can bring presence to these cycles of life and what they bring through in our feeling and the process that we go through when somebody dies or we lose something that we loved, where we're simply going through a transition in our lives, such as our monthly menstruation, which is the death cycle of every month that women, bodies with a womb, go through. Also wanting to bring awareness for the mothers as well, that they go through that death portal during birth, dying to who they used to be, and that there can be a lot of grief that comes through. In this beautiful book that I read during when my grandpa died, a friend gifted me this book called The Smell of Rain on Dust, and it's a book on grief and that cycle of life. And something that the first chapter mentioned is that our first experience of grief comes through when we separate from the umbilical cord and the womb of our mothers. And when I first read this, it just hit me so hard. And my body went through this physical experience of just like being so amazed, and also like just feeling that grief of that separation. And yet I feel like this is a perfect example of how grief and that separation and that loss brings forth deeper love, deeper experience of life. And I just want that to sink in with all of you, because it's a big topic. And whatever you are feeling, wherever you are in the world, whatever you're experiencing right now in these topics, I feel you, I see you, and I feel like this is something that we can relate with so deeply, because we all go through this as human beings. And so this grieving, this separation, this loss brings the capacity for us to feel deeper love. So maybe just thinking back to moments in your life where you felt these things or experienced loss, and just notice what was there for you. And through the experience, did you feel deeper love? And what opened up in your life through that feeling and experience? In my journey with death and loss and grief, and going through my death doula training, I have felt so much acceptance and compassion, and this richness, this quality of richness of life, that has deepened me in my own daily practices and allowed me to be more present with the people that I love and the people that I meet and work with. And it's such a beautiful topic, because it does bring us to that raw human, just like like this awe and amazement, and also like sometimes horrific and traumatic and tragic things that we all go through in our life. It's such a precious quality that we can begin to take in as our nourishment when we are aware that this is something that we will all go through in our life, and we have been since the moment we were birthed. And that cycle of life never goes away. It's something to come to this acceptance. And we never know what will be when we go through loss or death. You just never know until those moments arrive when you're in those cycles, and the feelings that may arise. I have experienced and I have helped people where I experience emotions that I don't know why I'm feeling them, or I judge them as, not as good as a different emotion that I should be feeling. When we think we should be feeling something differently, that's the moment to come back to our compassion and be with the emotion and experience. And if we don't know how to be with them, reaching out for support and help through these cycles, because they are challenging and they are tender and they are something that shouldn't be rushed or just put to the side in our society traditionally, or what I have experienced in this lifetime is seeing that when people die or something tragic happens, that in our modern society there is very little space for the grieving process to unfold. And this grieving process has so many layers to it. There can be feelings of anger surface, regret, sadness, numbness, disgust, or like blame on ourselves for not doing something, or that it may be our fault for different things that have happened, or in the way that they happened, or the timing that they unfolded, or that we could have done something different. Just so many layers surface through the cycle of death and loss and grief. And something in a recent experience that I supported with a friend is she had so much anger around the situation of the death that she was experiencing, and she wasn't sure if that was okay, or she needed to be feeling something different, or that she should be feeling a different way, or have acceptance for it. And we never know what will surface when we go through these cycles. So again, to have support, from our communities, from the people we love, through professionals and people that can hold space for these cycles of death and grief, is very necessary for the integration of who we are as a whole being. And the body can store so much that we don't even know is there, or can even understand why we are feeling a way we are feeling, or there's confusion around different things we may be experiencing and feeling. I have experienced all of that in the cycles of death, and this is why I am so passionate about getting more information, more awareness out about these cycles. So to wrap up this first video, I just want to thank you if you have listened to this all the way through. And if you are in need of deeper support, check the link down below for my website. You can reach out to me there, and I would be very happy to support you in these times and to form a relationship to death that is acceptance, filled with acceptance and compassion and love, and bring you deeper into your experience of love. So my heart is with you, and until next time, I will see you again. If this was helpful in any way, or if you have something to say, comment down below. I'd love to hear. And we'll see you in the next video.